The question is how to find the right investor or investors, right? So first, fundraising is a soul-sucking experience where you are caught in this just ridiculous world of being judged and poked and prodded and rejected and all that stuff, and thinking I really just want to build my product, right? And that's the best founders are like that. They're like, I'm so sick and tired of fundraising when I should be spending time building my product. But it's a reality that we have to deal with, right? So it's the triangulation or the constellation method. All right, Andre. So here's how it works. So what you want to do is you want to find, you know how in those super sleuthing movies where they go, oh, someone pinged here and someone pinged here and someone pinged here and someone pinged here and someone pinged here. And if I triangulate, like the distance or whatever, the treasure is right here, right? Something like that. So that's kind of the main way that I suggest doing it, because not one size fits all. Anyone who tells you they've got to figure it out, go this way, they're full of BS. Like, don't listen to them. So here's how it works. So let's identify the network that you're going to gather data, and you're going to ping this network kind of like sonar and see if you can get a general idea of what your network looks like and what the best way to go about doing it is based on your own temperament, your own strategy, how you approach things, etc. Okay, so first we're going to look at your friends and family. So you're going to talk to friends and family, and you're going to find out. You're going to talk to your rich uncle. Do you know someone, etc. Here's what we're raising. Just get some advice. Just talk to them and say, who do we know that's got it? And someone might say, oh, you know what? Your Aunt Jane, she just, she got in a Bitcoin at $300, and now she doesn't know what to do with, her billions, right? Something like that. Like something might pop up. So you check your friends and family. That's what you do. Then what you do is you check with your users, and these are your clients. And Andre, you've already identified, you're like, oh, I've got a client who's a super user, etc. So you go to them and say, you really like this, and would you consider investing? Or how about someone who would consider investing? I'll be your best friend. We'll, give you a lifetime, and, we'll service you, etc. Or convert, any 5% of referrals into either discounts or your own ownership, or, something like that. Right. So you got your users is what happens. All right. Then you've got your, you've got your previous investors. Okay. And so you got your all current stakeholders. So go to your current investors and say, hey, I'm thinking, and you never know, like they might be sitting there going, yeah, we're waiting for you to come, to our A round, bring us an A round, where we need to go beyond seed or something like that. Or, yeah, we've been talking about you with other people. Investors talk to each other all the time. That's how it works. And then what you do is you've got your cold. Okay. And by what we mean is, your Crunchbase. So you go to Crunchbase and pow. Okay. Or your LinkedIn. Okay. Do a search on your LinkedIn and see who's got the term investor in their, bios, etc. You got LinkedIn. Now, here's what happens is all the connection is you are constantly pinging this ecosystem. Okay. So with startups, founder groups, we are not investors, we are not agents, etc., but we are an ecosystem who knows people, etc. So there's lots of interconnections in between there. So then what you do is you go and you start to figure out, okay, so here's what happens. It's like ping, 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 and you start working this. And then eventually, pow, let me use another color. Pow, here you find what you're looking for. And that could be anywhere. That could be here. That could be here. That could be here. That could be anywhere. You just don't know until you start pinging your network. So this is your total network, and you may have to expand your network, etc. So what do I mean by this? Well, you might have someone that recommends, okay, someone who just happens to be popped up on Crunchbase or be in your LinkedIn or something like that. You never know what connections there are out there. Your current investors might have a network that they're willing to make that a little bit of a warmer lead, etc. But how do you know until you hit all kind of four? Now, there are different variations. A lot of times you meet investors by mistake. My first professional investor I met in art school, he was in class. He didn't have to take the degree. He just liked it. And I leaned over and I said, "You're doing that all wrong." And then we started a conversation, found out that he had big money, commodities investor. And I said, commodities trader. And I said, "Hey, you should give me money." And bang, he gave me money. And I started my first startup while I was still in school. And it was just happened to be a chance meeting. So what you have to do is you have to ping all those networks and then calibrate and find out. And eventually you'll know where you're really good at finding the people. And you might all of a sudden say Crunchbase is, was my saving grace because I was able to triangulate, with the rest of these with the rest of this group here and find out this was the best thing. Or some founders go and get users and they are like, wow, this was the best thing. And that's a lot of what we did in China. Actually, our own users ended up investing when we opened it up. They said, we want the opportunity to be owners, not just users. And so we didn't have to go to institutions. So that's how that works. All right. So, just take inventory of everything and just start pinging. There's not a one track, one size magic bullet fits all, type thing. I think I butchered all those expressions, but it's just not a one thing. And so going in there and doing one thing, it's like building a table, like just building a table with one leg. It's just not going to work. All right. So I don't know where your investors are going to come from, Andre, but I can tell you they're somewhere in your network. So let's talk. I'll get some feedback.